So, are the Dallas Cowboys the front runners for the NFC East? What has gone totally wrong in San Francisco? And was this past week a bad game or maybe a bad sign for the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, we're going to see if we can figure out the answers to those questions and many more as we get you started. We get you ready for week 9 of fantasy football and week 9 in the NFL. We all got it covered for you from top to bottom, and we got a lot of hot topics to talk about here on tonight's edition of Fantasy Football Fever, which starts right now. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, October 31st, 2023. Happy Halloween to every one of y'all out there from every one of us here. Of course, I'm Tim Cleland. We got John Natali and we got John Flynn, who is not yet on camera, but he is with us. So how y'all doing?
Yeah, doing pretty well.
I'm doing good too.
All right. We got a lot to talk about. We got some hot topics which concerns the trade deadline that took place just a few hours ago, and a lot of moving, a lot of shaking. See who the big winners and who the big losers were, and the before the trade deadline. And we got a lot to talk about right here. But right now, I think we're going to go ahead and take a look back at our week in fantasy football in our league here. Let me get that let me get the screen set up here. I'm kind of working both with my Xbox One and with my laptop. Kind of doing some multitasking, even though I've never really been the best multitasker in the world, but please bear with me, folks. So we'll just go ahead and so let me see here. Let me get hit this button. As I said, hit this button. Okay, we're going to share my screen. Hopefully, y'all have a good Halloween out there. I know some of y'all probably do it on the Saturday before, but hey, that's all right. We'll just go ahead and see if we can wing it right here. So let's it should be coming up on the screen here any second now. There we go. And the first thing, let's go ahead and click on this here. Take a look at my matchup with Alex. Wait a minute. This we're not looking at that right now. Hold up, folks. I just hit the wrong button. It's looking ahead to week 9 of our league. We're looking back at week 8.
Yeah.
My apologies, folks. I mean, I'm not a professional at this thing. So. Oh, by the way, I do want to give my my half sister Ashley a happy birthday today. She turns 40, so that's another sign of me knowing that I'm very old. Right. So to my half sister Ashley, I say happy birthday. What happened here? Something is not computing here. We're trying to get to our yeah, I think I hear some of y'all out there saying I probably need a new laptop. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Just trying to all right, come on, baby. Work with me, babe. Okay, so I think we got okay, now let's see if we can go ahead and Oh, so somehow I went offline on my laptop here.
Oh,
So I gotta get back in here because it's kind of hard to do it. When I'm working on the Xbox One and things are not going correctly. Let's share screen. All right, let's try this. All right, let's try this again.
I mean, the thing I could tell you guys, I scored the second most points in this league and lost to some guy named Natalie.
mm-hmm.
Oh man.
There it is.
I mean that's the only spoiler I'm giving y'all. But hey, I'm not worried at all though. Because I still have a pretty good team, and I'm gonna win a bunch of games between now and the start of the playoffs.
Yeah, you've had a pretty good roster here from the get-go, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. And what am I now? 6-2. So a couple of wins, and I'll be a couple of wins, and I'll be assured of the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
So, but of course, my goals are not just making the playoffs. It's actually getting over the hump, which I have which something I have a really hard time doing in fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, here. Okay, we got the scores here. First, I was victorious against Dino, 151.46 to 131.82. Got very good points from Jalen Hurts, as I would expect. AJ Brown came up big time for me, and so did Sam Laporta.
See, and that's six straight games with at least 125 receiving yards for AJ Brown.
Yeah, that's huge for them, of course. Of course, AJ Brown's really going to have to come up huge this Sunday against you know who.
The Dallas Cowboys. Because Philly calls it this week Dallas Hate Week.
Dallas Hate Week, yeah, of course.
I
did get 35.36 points from Jalen Hurts. I was almost tempted to start Joe Burrow. Left 33.62, not a bad. And Gabe Davis did much better than what I expected, but he left me 23.7 points on the bench. Meanwhile, Dino got 30.02 points from Justin Herbert. Derrick Henry got him 16.2. David Njoku got him 18.7. See his bench numbers. 13 for Jerry Jeudy, 10 for Quay Walker, 10.2 for AJ Dillon, 17.9 for KJ Osborne. I still have one spot that I do need to fill up here, but I'll have to address my my waiver wires and all that as soon as we get done with tonight's show. So that's basically how that matchup went down. Well, Alex got his second win of the season. He defeated David 117.9 to 111.8. Alex decided to start CJ Stroud, got him 12.9 points. 29.9 points from Jahmyr Gibbs. 25.1 for his wide receiver Jalen Waddle. Just about broke even with the Dolphins defense and special teams.
Yeah, and had Jahmyr Gibbs not have the game he had, not have that touchdown, he would have lost to Dino. So because Jahmyr Gibbs 29.9 made a massive difference in that ball game, because Devontae Adams, who we're going to get to in a big way in the Hot Topic segment, only has one catch for 11 yards.
Yeah, and he is definitely not too pleased about that.
See, and yeah, so we'll get into all of that, but And he only got one. And he only got 1 point out of Aiden Hutchinson too, and still found a way to win.
Looks like the only bright spot for David is that he was able to get 41 points off of CD Lamb.
Yeah, he also got. Yeah, he got 10 catches from Evan Ingram, and he got 108 receiving yards from Amon St. Brown.
Take a look at the wow. Brees Hall left 21.3 on the bench. Alvin Kamara left 27. Jahan Dotson 24.8. Oh, David. Wow. Left a lot of points on that bench right there, which could have put him over the top, but somehow that was just not to be, I guess. So actually going on to our next matchup, we had KC taking down Lucas by a score of 144.86 to 143.28.
Ooh, that came down to the wire.
Oh, definitely. Looking at the quarterback numbers, Gino Smith got him 17.8. Very good points from Austin Eckler. Got 17 from Dalton Kincaid. Lamar Jackson got 13.98 points for Lucas. Probably about broke even with Josh Jacobs. Jamar Chase, 25.2 points. Not too bad at all. Taking a look at down the bench here. Oh, Kirk Cousins, 23.86 points left on Lucas's bench.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now Lucas might have to get another alternative quarterback because he's now out for the season.
Oh, it's been confirmed Kirk Cousins is out for the season?
Yes.
Yeah, they signed what's his name now? Dobbs.
They traded with the Cardinals for Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, which now subsequently means Kyler Murray could be coming back.
Cole Kmet got 17.9 points. Brock Purdy, 21.3 points. So Casey just edged out Lucas there. Then, of course, the battle between my two contemporaries here. Natalie took down Flynn's 171.16 to 154.78. Looking at the points here, looks like Tyreek Hill. Well, Tyreek Hill, of course, went off, but that's what Tyreek Hill does. You're one of the best receivers in the league. Devontae Smith, 22.9. Michael Pittman Jr. got 18. Travis Kelce slightly underachieved this week, but then again, Kansas City, oh my gosh.
Taylor Swift wasn't in the building. That's why they lost.
Oh, well, that explains it. Taylor wasn't in the building.
It's because in the games where Taylor Swift has been present, Travis Kelce has had averaged over 100 receiving yards, and when he's not out there, he's a mid tight end.
29.8 big points for Christian McCaffrey, 29.4 points from Gus Edwards, 20.8 from TJ Hockenson, 21.4 from Jordan Addison, who I think is really coming on as a great wide receiver for the Vikings, even though
with tremendous pickup by Minnesota, because he was awesome at Southern Cal last year, catching passes from Caleb Williams.
Right. And taking a look at the points. Oh my gosh. DeAndre Hopkins, 34.8 points. Oh my goodness. Left those points.
When I saw that, because in time when I saw that Natalia left DeAndre Hopkins on the bench, I said, you know what, I'm gonna win. Karma was going to strike John Natale in the butt for being the most proclaimed DeAndre Hopkins truther in the history of fantasy football, and he goes off, but he puts him on the bench. That Karma was going to fight Natale so hard, I couldn't wait to. I was ready to put him on blast for that, but yeah, but he scored more points than me because he had four of the guys with 20 points with T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison and Gus Edwards. I mean, Gus Edwards had 3 touchdowns. And I'm like, really? so after, yeah, I couldn't believe what I saw out of Gus Edwards, and entering this week. He only had 20 he only had one 20-point game, and that was last week against Detroit when he had that touchdown run. So I was stunned about the result. But Natale drafted very well. He made sure to put resources where they needed to go in the first few rounds. That's how he was able to defeat me.
Well, I only have 2 words for Natale about that situation. I just got 2 words for you.
Let's hear it.
You fool!
Yeah, well now Hopkins has a new quarterback.
Yeah, he's got a new quarterback.
Will Levis. Will Levis. I loved him in the draft process, and if I had known Will Levis was going to be the starting quarterback, of course I would have picked Will Levis and the Titans to win. But that's an L for me.
And then now I have to start Hopkins this week because Calvin Ridley's on the bye.
And finally, we had Andrew defeating Adam 152.56 to 107.04. I guess in hindsight, I mean, Adam, of course, started Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, who knew that Kansas City would just, obviously there were a lot of chinks in the armor. Meanwhile,
well, Tim, you did say before we made our division preview, you said the Broncos would win a game against KC, and they did.
Yeah, I've heard the idea that they would. Josh Allen, 33.6 points for Andrew. Brandon Ayuk pretty much broke even.
About time Josh Allen had a good game.
Got 20 points from Joe Mixon, 17.6 from Garrett Wilson, 11 even from Roquan Swift, 19 from the Cowboys and special teams, and 13 points from this young kicker, Brandon Aubrey, who I'm really liking more and more and more.
Yeah, and speaking of Cowboys, in my other league, my top 3 scorers were all Cowboys. With the Cowboys defense, with a touchdown, an interception, a block, a safety, it was simply majestic.
But look at this. He had Dak Prescott on the bench, and of course Prescott went off for 37.06 points there. 22.3 from Derek Carr, 13.7 from Kareem Hunt, 22.1 from Tyler Lockett. Tua got Andrew 27.76. Wow. What a crazy, crazy week we had here. So let's we're going to jump ahead now. Jump ahead to this coming week, and I got Alex this week. Take a look, go inside the numbers here, and this thing will just keep going here. All right. Oh, we have a comment here. Oh, I think it's from it's our friend Dashy. Happy Halloween. Bengals host Bills on Sunday Night Football. Bills never lost a Sunday Night Football game under Sean McDermott, and the Bengals have never lost a home primetime game under Zach Taylor.
Ooh. A lot of streaks are on the line here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dashy. We'll definitely talk about that matchup pretty soon. Meanwhile, this is still kind of okay. Here we go. There we go. We're going to oh my gosh! Did I get kicked out of the one again? What happened here? Okay. I think I got yeah. Okay. Yeah. Somehow I got kicked out the wrong side again. Oh, well, there's Mr. Flynn in all of his glory.
Yep, here I am.
Yeah, I'm logged in if we need assistance here.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to get that screen back up where we're going through our fantasy matchups for this coming week.
Yeah, if you can't get it up, I have it ready.
Okay, it should be coming up. There we go. Okay, so I will be facing Adam this week. Right now I'm at 105.1. He's at 111.2. So I've got some players on the bye, of course. I'm going to save a bench here. Who do I got? Do I have? Okay, I got Joe Burrow. Wow. I may have a fancy question. I may have a question here. Do I start Joe Burrow against the Bills? Or do I start Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys?
Ooh.
Oh.
Both of those are ugly matchups.
That's a dilemma.
Start Joe Burrow.
Start Burrow, okay.
Yeah, my answer would have been I would have gone Hurts because I think it's going to be a high scoring affair.
Yeah, but I think like the potential turnovers that Jalen Hurts might have if the Cowboys defensive line, particularly Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, if they're able to win their matchups against Wayne Johnson and Jordan Mailata.
Yeah. And maybe let's not leave out Deron Bland. Now leave that boy out. He's already got 3 pick sixes this year.
Yeah, a Cowboys defense that special teams fantasy owner like me thanks him very, very much.
Yeah. So Alex is an advantage with Pollard and Waddle, Schultz, Allen, the Dolphins. Of course, I got Hurts, got Mostert, AJ Brown. Of course, I got to put AJ Brown in there. Justin Tucker. So I got some options. I think I got some options. Let's take a look here. We're going to have David against Lucas this week. Right now, Lucas at 147.8. David at 64.7. I think somebody's going to have to give David a lesson in fantasy football 101.
Yep.
Yeah, he's 3-5. Projected total right now 64.7. He's got a couple of starters on the bye, so he's got some developed players on his bench. He can go through the waiver wire. So pretty much all the check marks are over on Lucas's side right now. So Now we got a matchup with I think it's Andrew against Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Casey's at 124.4, and Andrew's at 115.5. Looking at the starters here. DeAndre Swift, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Kincaid, Amari Cooper, and Tyler Bass for Casey. Andrew has Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Trevor McLaurin, Chris Jones, and Chauncey Van special teams there. He's got Brandon Ayuk and Brandon McManus on the bye, so he will obviously make some changes. Olokun for Jacksonville, he's going to be on the bye this week, so I'll have to make some adjustments there. Okay, then Natalie looks like it go up against Adam for this week, and 138 1 for Adam, 124 for Natalie. This would be a tough start. Patrick Mahomes against the Dolphins defense. That sounds like a real tough one right there. So got Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is a great young. I'm liking this Zay Flowers a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I loved him in the draft process. I wanted him to be available for the Giants at 25, but I digress.
Looks like he's got three. Natalie's got three players on the bench that are on the bye, but interesting to see what happens there. And then we got John Flynn going up against Dino. Right now, Dino is projected at 133.8, and Flynn is at 114.8. Okay, Lawrence and NTN are on the bye.
Yep. So that means I have to make a couple of moves on the waiver wire. So because I think I don't have another running back to go right now, so I'm gonna have to pick a running back up. And I'm gonna have to pick up a quarterback, but obviously quarterbacks aren't available. Waiver claims don't process until Wednesday, but I'm liking some of the quarterback matchups I'm seeing on the waiver wire.
So Dino's got one starter on the bye, but he's got 4 bench players on the bye. Well, he's got an empty spot right here, so it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens there. So basically we're going to have let's check out our standings right now, see where everybody is. Okay, so right now I'm still on top of the Beavis division at 6-2. Got Lucas and Adam tied for second with 4-4 records. David is at 3-5, and Alex is at 2-6. Meanwhile, over on the Butthead division, Flynn still leads with 5-2. Natalie's at 5-3. Dino's at 4-4. Casey and Andrew tied at 3-5. Overall, Flynn is still right now on top in the overall standings, even though it's by a very slim margin right here. I'm right close to him. In fact, where's the third one built here? Check that again. Okay, so Natalie's at third overall, so Tizzle's down at the bottom again. So, well, that's basically the way things are going in our fantasy league so far. So we got some very, very interesting matchups for this week. Oh, we have another question. Oh, John Jansen. Wait a minute, did I close this out? There we go. Okay, he's got a question for us here. I have 49ers D on a bye week. I think I'll pick up Chargers D. Can I get your thoughts? San Francisco D has not been doing well recently.
I mean, who are the Chargers playing? They're playing Zach Wilson and the Jets. So yeah, you're picking up the Chargers defensive end as your option.
Right. Yeah. So that, I guess he's asking if picking up the Chargers D would be a good option. Yes, I think that's what he's asking. Well,
I guess it should be okay. I mean, Jets offense hasn't been particularly great. They've been a middle of the road team.
well, yeah, hopefully you'll just be able to put your 49ers defense on the bench. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're on a 3-game skid, but I don't know. I mean, it kind of gives me cause to pause. But I'm not sure about that. Oh yes, and happy Halloween to you, John. Thanks for watching, buddy. Thanks for your question. So that's basically what's going on in our fantasy league. Right now, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Of course, we know the NFL trade deadline has come on, and we have a lot to talk about that with our hot topics. So, Flynn, you want to kick it off? What's the first thing comes to your head?
Okay, so this was the most active trade deadline day in the second most active trade deadline day in the NFL since 1990, and there were 6 trades made today. There were a couple of made yesterday, but here are the primary trades that went down today. First, the San Francisco 49ers acquired 2020 second overall pick in the draft, Chase Young from the Washington Commanders, in exchange for a 3rd round pick. So what is already maybe the best one of the best defensive lines in the league, it gets a lot stronger with the addition of Chase Young, who has been very good so far when healthy. He already has 5 sacks on the season. Now he joins a pass rush that includes that includes the likes of Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead and others. So the 49ers are going into the bye week. They're on a 3-game losing streak. But so what the 49ers saw was that Chase Young was more of a need because teams were figuring out how to attack the San Francisco defensive line. So I think it's a tremendous trade, guys, for the 49ers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's number 1 right there. Number 2, and then and I need to get your input on this because from a Bears perspective, because the Chicago Bears traded traded a 2nd round pick to the Commanders for Montez Sweat, so to bolster their defensive line. But I have questions on this, guys. Don't you, about from a Bears perspective, like what exactly their plan is?
Exactly.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys. So 2 years in a row now, on trade deadline day, the Bears give up a highly valuable, high-end 2nd round draft pick for someone who might not even be on the team next year. So remember last year that they traded the 2nd round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for in exchange for Chase Claypool. That did not particularly work out the way it intended to. And then of course that they get a 2nd round pick back for Roquan Smith, who has been unbelievable and is very, very much a front runner to be 1st team All-Pro for the Baltimore Ravens this upcoming season at the linebacker position. So that was that. And then then the Bears add to their defensive line. They add a really good player, Montez Sweat. But here's the problem: what exactly are they trying to do? Well, I mean, what's their plan? And the thing is, I liked Ryan Poles in the GM process a couple of years ago, because he was one of the guys. He was a bright mind in the in the Kansas City Chiefs organization that the Bears saw that success and they plucked him away from Brett Veach's staff and it's gone down the tubes. I mean what's going on here if you're the Chicago Bears? Anyways, also the New York Football Giants yesterday, so they made one trade. They traded Leonard Williams to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for a second-round pick next year and a fifth-round pick in 2025. So to tell you, Giants no longer have Leonard Williams, 2-6 right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really shocked. He was actually a very solid player for that defensive line, but I also like the second-round pick. So I'm kind of conflicted.
I mean, you gotta love this trade for the Giants because the thing about what the Giants did in 2019, they gave this was Dave Gettleman said that Leonard Williams couldn't get anything going with the Jets. So what does Dave Gettleman do? Give the Jets a third and fifth round pick in exchange for his services. So so the fact that Joe Schoen was able to turn that into a second and fifth round pick on the heels of turning Kadarius Toney into Darren Waller and Trey Hawkins, who is turning into a solid addition to that secondary. I think that's amazing what Joe Schoen has done, and it really hits home how much I trust Joe Schoen in the future now. Offensive line, the offensive line has been a mess. Although I thought the offensive line played pretty well on Sunday. Though being fair, that so that they didn't turn the ball over at all against the Jets, which really made the Jets defense earn their chance to keep themselves in the game. But but you got to be thrilled here if you're the Giants, and I also think from a Seahawks perspective, I think that this will elevate the Seahawks defense in a little bit because Leonard Williams gives them another opportunity. Another opportunity to beat defenders and beat opposing offensive linemen in interior pass protection. But this was my. This is my main takeaway from Seattle. I think that they sit here in first place at 5-2 in the NFC West. They have one fewer loss than the 49ers. So so Seattle plays San Francisco twice between now and the end of the season. Week 12 on Thanksgiving, and then a couple weeks later in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium. So the Seahawks are sensing that the 49ers have a weakness in the interior offensive line, and they see it in what Brock Purdy has done when trailing rather than leading. He's such a completely different quarterback when he is trailing rather than leading. So that's number one. Number two, San Francisco's offensive line is good, not great, but we'll see how it turns out when they get Trent Williams back from injury. So I think that's really what I'm hitting home on on this. So I mean, are there less significant trades, but I think worth mentioning is that the Green Bay Packers traded Rasul Douglas to the Bills. The trade also sent a fifth-round pick to Buffalo, while the Packers get a third-round selection back. So this is basically Green Bay's answer to the Tre'Davious White injury for the secondary. You know, there were some rumors about Buffalo acquiring Adoree Jackson from Joe Shane's Giants, but he did not turn out to be traded. He's still a Giant. Donovan Peoples-Jones went from the Cleveland Browns to the Detroit Lions in a trade. So also the Minnesota Vikings acquired Joshua Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's kind of a big deal too. I didn't even think of that until right now about the answer here for the Minnesota Vikings after Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles ending his season, guys. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah.
That would change everything, even though I said a long time ago that I believe Detroit would win the NFC North. So,
yeah. I mean, because I think we all had Detroit winning the division preseason, and I think, and I think their performance last night against the Raiders was a pretty good indication on how we felt about that. But there were some smart people that looked okay. Yeah, Kevin O'Connell is a tremendous coach. He gets his guys to win, win close games. That you have to master the art of winning close games to be a successful team in the NFL. But the Vikings defense, it took a while for them to get adjusted to Brian Flores' schemes and his concepts, and Minnesota's playing very well defensively right now. And a lot of that has to do with Brian Flores, but also Kirk Cousins did a tremendous job keeping the Vikings in games that they should have won the Charger game. And the fact they didn't win that game was wild. They would have been 5-3 instead of 4-4. Now they have a big matchup coming up on Sunday against the Falcons, which could be the difference between both teams making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. Both. So for the moment, Minnesota starting Jaron Hill, the rookie out of BYU. And by the way, he was Jordan Love's replacement after he got drafted. No, it was actually Zach Wilson's replacement at BYU. So do you think Jordan Love, Zach Wilson, and now this? But I do think the Vikings defense has a favorable matchup against the Atlanta Falcons coming up this Sunday. So let's see. The Vikings send former second-round pick Ezra Cleveland to the Jaguars in exchange for a sixth-round pick, and I think we hit everything in terms of the trade department.
Right.
Yeah.
We just got word a while ago. The defamation suit against Jerry Jones has been thrown out. I think that was this lady claiming to be Jerry Jones' daughter. That sounds like bull to me.
It was because
what was this woman? What was she trying to prove? It's stories like that just boggles my mind. I mean, stupidity amazes me. Yeah. So if I have one thing to say for that woman who tried to put up that lawsuit against Jerry Jones, if I got one thing to say to her, it's probably this.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. So, that really doesn't mean anything. So, I guess we'll just move on. I got a note from Flynn earlier. Every one of the division leaders in the AFC has a record of 6-2.
Oh wow.
That's right. That would be the Bills.
Miami. It would be Miami. And then the other three.
Oh, Miami, and then Kansas City, and then Jacksonville. And who's on top now in the North? Would that be Cincinnati? Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Yeah, all equal record 6-2. So I think the AFC is a little bit wide open now.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the way Kansas City performed in Denver, and that the Chiefs didn't do anything at the deadline, that they could have added a receiver like Devontae Adams to the mix. So and then because given how porous Kansas City's wideouts have been this year, it would have been the perfect addition to not only take pressure off of Holmes, but also take pressure off of Travis Kelce. So because I think Denver figured out that if he double covered Travis Kelce, that the receivers are not reliable.
Yeah, that's right, John. Each one of the division leaders in the AFC is 6-2.
Yes. So now I want to ask the two of you a question. That if you're looking at these four teams right now, so which of the 4 6-2 teams do you feel the most confident in? Miami, Baltimore, Jacksonville, Kansas City?
I'm leaning towards Baltimore.
And what?
As much as
I like their defense. I mean, Zay Flowers is making a case for offensive rookie of the year. I mean, Edwards has come through now. Right now, I think all the pieces are coming together.
Well, as much as I love Patrick Mahomes because he is a native East Texan,
game situation for the Ravens going up against the Cardinals in Arizona, and they were able to dominate that game. Don't let the final score fool you. It was a much more dominant performance than the final stats indicated.
as much as I love Patrick Mahomes, as much as he's done, I think Kansas City maybe slipping, but not too much. Right now, I feel that the AFC division leader that has the most mojo right now, I have to swing with Miami. I swing with the Dolphins. Just a little bit.
Is that
Tyreek Hill. Tua's coming up big time. They have a pretty decent defense. I give a slight edge to Miami.
Yes, I mean, but I think this is where I'm going to go with this because only because one of these 4 teams has won 5 in a row, and one of these 5 teams just won a monster game on the road against a well-coached team. And I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars because if you look at how the Jaguars have performed or over the last 5 weeks, dominant performances, wins against quality teams like Buffalo, like the Houston Texans, like the New Orleans Saints, like the Steelers. Everything's coming together now for these Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has been outstanding. Travis Etienne has been amazing, and he's been a godsend for my fantasy team. He's one of the top running backs in the NFL, and I love that fit in the first place, having Lawrence and Etienne coming out the same year out of college and being together in the NFL on a first place team. I think that's great. And also the defense has been playing very well. Doug Peterson has got these guys buttoned up, and he knows what it takes to be a championship caliber team. So I think you've got to be excited here if you're talking about the perspective of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That makes sense. That makes all sense in the world. You mentioned 5 games in a row. That is huge momentum. I mean, 5.
Yeah, so you got to go into your bye week at 6-2, feeling pretty darn good about yourself. But they'll get a big test there right away because coming off their bye week, they got San Francisco.
That's going to be a big one. And we have another question. Daniel wants to know: do you drop James Cook for Gus Edwards?
Hmm,
Mm,
that's a tough one. I mean, I would definitely pick up Gus Edwards, but I'm not so sure about dropping James Cook. If there's someone on
yeah,
your bench worth dropping, I would pivot to somebody else for dropping if you can afford to. But I would definitely take Gus Edwards for the depth. He's hot right now.
I mean, he just had the 3 touchdowns, and we just talked about how he helped out the Towers fantasy team.
Yeah. But if you absolutely have to drop Cook, I would say go for it. But I don't think Cook is worth dropping right now. Although Edwards is definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, John just mentioned Gus Edwards has been doing well recently. Yeah, he has. So, yeah, there's a spot where you could put Cook on the bench or do something. But if you only have one starter or something, then wow. Well, anyway, that pretty much takes care of our hot topics. I mean,
So, what else is there to talk about? I think.
uh,
Also, what were your guys' thoughts on like the best worst game ever played on Sunday between the Jets and the Giants?
Oh, that was ugly. All the Giants had to do was one run yard, get one first down. They would have won the game.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that it was Dable that decided to kick the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, that I would have gone in a completely different direction than that.
Yeah.
But
And then again, that was even a short field goal. I don't know how Gano could have missed that one. It was only a 35-yarder.
So I think one thing they were talking about was the knee issue.
Mm.
what was that? Was that the one where they had 24 total punts in that game?
Yes.
And somehow, despite having negative 9 yards passing, they almost won.
Yeah, which speaks to how with the confidence level I feel about the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I guess for those 24 punts, I'd give those two punters a slight pay raise or maybe a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was 24 punts in the game. That's absolutely crazy. Oh, and by the way, this was mentioned to me earlier today before the show. It was 21 years ago today that a very famous statement was made. It was this:
hello, you play to win the game.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the great Herm Edwards right there with those great words of wisdom.
And now we need the bit where I think there was that same video where a reporter asked him, "Do you play to lose?" And then I think he responded a different way.
Yeah,
I find that one.
I think it's the same clip. I think the same interview. I believe.
Yeah, and they were actually talking about that specific question on NFL Network because NFL Network insider Judy Batista was the reporter that asked the question that led to the rant about you play to win the game. And she's terrific. I mean all of them are at NFL Network. I mean with Ian Rappaport and yeah. And Tom Pelissero. I'll be right back because I'm signing in through my laptop.
Yeah, for me, NFL Network hasn't been the same since Kay Adams left.
So yeah, that's.
Well, folks, I think it's time to turn on your thinking caps and get ready to get challenged because it is time once again for another edition of Tim's Tough Trivia. So, everybody get your thinking caps on because I think I've got a real good one for you.
Alrighty.
Okay, here is this week's question. This past Sunday in the Rams game against the Cowboys, Matthew Stafford threw his 30th career pick six. And it was Deron Bland, who is actually taking the place of Trayvon Diggs, who is out for the rest of the season. Deron Bland got his third pick six of the year. Now, question is simple. Which NFL quarterback holds the career record for most pick sixes thrown?
Yeah,
Think about that one, y'all.
Yeah, I have a couple of ideas on that one.
We'll let y'all think about that one. Which quarterback holds the NFL record for most pick sixes thrown in a career? Think about that. And while y'all think about that, we're going to get ready for our NFL matchups. But first of all, a little piece of
Ready to hang
information
with some
for you.
fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby!
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Y'all be sure and tune in tomorrow night. And it looks like we have Mr. Flynn in his homestead with his nice jersey on there.
Yes, indeed.
And it looks like he's letting the mustache grow out just a little bit.
A little bit more.
A little bit more there. All right then. Mr. Flynn, do we have? Yes, we do.
Yes, so we have our NFL picks against the spread, and I logged in just in time for this. So I don't have everyone's win-loss records from last week, but I know I did win a couple of games against the spread on my podcast spreads that I didn't win on this one. So.
All right. Oh, we have someone wanting to say hello.
It's Brandy.
Oh, my friend Brandy. Haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing? How you doing? Brandy's
Hey, Brandy.
Brandy's unboxings and more. Yeah, she has a potpourri of different things on her channel. So look her up on YouTube. Nice seeing you again, Brandy. Haven't talked to you in a while. Tell the husband I said hello, and I'll be able to check out your videos here pretty soon. So y'all check her out as well. So, first game, we got Tennessee and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh picked by 2.5. Looking at this here, looks like we all are in agreement with Pittsburgh. Yeah, looks like we got Pittsburgh winning and covering, of course. Oh, well, this is sweet. Oh, there. Oh, that's my friend there. That's my friend Brandy. I love that gal too. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, Brandy. Looks like. Oh yeah, looks like Flynn and Natalia are going with the Chiefs in this one, and it looks like I'm the only one that's picking Miami. I believe that the Chiefs may be suffering from the same thing that San Francisco may be suffering from, but I digress. We are both going Atlanta, Minnesota. looks like Flynn's the only one that's going to Minnesota. Natalia and I are picking the Falcons.
It's yeah, and I know what it means for the Vikings. Yes, that is an
So,
upset special. I think the Vikings are going to win this game on defense. I think they're going to make some big plays. I think it's a great matchup that favors Minnesota here.
Mm.
interesting. We are all in agreement with Baltimore over Seattle. We got Cleveland over Arizona.
Yeah, I have the Arizona covering.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
well, and for this week, not only am I taking Cleveland, but I'm gonna lock them up. There's my lock of the week. Cleveland over Arizona. They will definitely win. They will definitely cover here. Look at that. The Rams and the Packers.
Yeah, this is my garbage game of the week.
Yeah,
That's not mine. Mine's coming up later. It looks like so it looks like Flynn's got the Rams taking this one while Natalia and I are taking Green Bay.
Yeah, and I got the Rams winning this one, not only to win, but I have them winning by double digits.
Oof.
Yeah, so and speaking of that, that's my lock of the week. Based on definition.
Wow.
So he's locking the Rams over Pack. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Pretty
That's
bold.
3
Pretty bold.
points.
Pretty bold right there indeed. Flynn and I are going with the Texans while Natalie is going with the Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one was a hard one for me. I think it's gonna be an ugly game on both sides, but
Yeah, but I think I think in game I think D'Amico Ryans against Todd Bowles. I don't think that's a fair matchup. But both excellent defensive coordinators, but I think D'Amico Ryans is proving to be a better head coach than Todd Bowles was.
Interesting there. Commanders at Patriots. Patriots at 3-point favorites. Natalia and I have the Patriots, while Flynn has got the Commanders.
So, which is interesting. But if you look at how Washington played offensively with how Sam Howell played, he played very, very well against Philadelphia. So I think coming off a loss and playing well coming off a loss, I think that usually translates to wins. And Sam Howell over Mac Jones, I got that's why I have to pick Washington here.
I kind of found it interesting. I found it interesting how Philadelphia could give up those many points.
Yeah,
that was really interesting. Kind of makes you think of how many points they're going to give up to Dallas this Sunday here. So we're all in agreement that New Orleans will take down Chicago. That was originally going to be my lock, but I changed it at the 11th hour and the 59th minute. I think Cleveland's got a better chance of beating Arizona, but I digress. We are all in agreement for Indianapolis to beat the Panthers. This one is kind of boggling. Flynn and I are taking the New York Giants while Natalia is taking on the Raiders.
yeah, that loss against the Jets was the last straw for me. I mean, the Giants have to play better in order for me to start picking them again. Sure, their defense has been stepping up, but the offense has been trash.
I mean, they had -9 passing yards and they almost won a game. So Yeah, and also the Raiders are a complete mess. They are so dysfunctional. I mean, the Raiders don't get good. I've said this before on this podcast. I've said this on Hooked on Sports, and I'll say it again here. The Raiders don't get enough credit for how dysfunctional of an organization they are.
Yeah, I hope the Giants prove me wrong here.
Yes,
I give them chance after chance.
Yeah, and this was a game on the preseason schedule. I had the Giants winning, and
I did too, but now I'm changing it.
Yeah, and entering this week, I'm 7-1 with the picks in games featuring the Giants.
Mm.
Yeah. And then, why is this game not in prime time? I mean, this game is huge.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like Flynn and I are both taking my Cowboys. So, yeah.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, I have them splitting the series, each of them winning at their home field.
Yeah, and Natalia's going with Philadelphia at home. Look at our scores. 30-27. Flynn got Dallas. Natalia 38-34, 31-28. Looks like we all got this particular game almost neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be high scoring. It's gonna be awesome. And like I said, why this game is not in prime time, I have no idea.
But also this was something I saw someone that I saw pick up on because they announced that next week's Sunday night game between the Jets and the Raiders is going to stay on Sunday Night Football. So it's because now Fox and CBS can each protect one game each week. Yes, so they get to pick with the matchups they don't want to be flexed out for ratings. So they most likely protected this Cowboys Eagles game because they knew it was going to be a big game, with massive implications for not only for the division but maybe for the 1 seed in the NFC.
Mm.
Okay. Now speaking of prime time, the Sunday night game is sounds like a pretty good one. Buffalo at Cincinnati. It looks like we all have picking the Bengals at home.
And the Bengals to cover. And I feel like the Bengals are playing their best football of the season right now, and I think that they've been getting more and more confident as each week has gone on.
And for the Monday night game, Chargers and Jets, Flynn and Natalia are both going with the Chargers, while I am the only one taking the Jets. The Jets are looking okay. Of course, Chargers. Well, it's kind of interesting. The Chargers only held the Cowboys to 10 points total in the second half of their game last. No, it was the Rams that held the Cowboys. Chargers, I'd say they're okay, but I think if I could see a little more from Zach Wilson, I think I'd be more comfortable picking the Jets more than usual, but I digress. So I had Cleveland locked. Flynn had the Rams locked. Natalia, did you have a lock?
I have no lock this week due to all my games being a 1-score game.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that until I started looking. But
yeah,
this kind of feels like a reflection on really the spreads this week, because you only have 2 games in which the spread is 5 points or more with the Bears and the New Orleans Saints. I think that's pretty much justified, and then the Arizona Cardinals and the Cleveland Browns, that's justified.
Yeah, but my highest though is 8. So if I absolutely had to pick like the closest one, it would be the Saints over the Bears. But that's not an official one though.
Yeah.
I totally dropped the ball 2 weeks in a row for my lock of the week. My last week was a disaster.
Which one was that?
The Chiefs and the Broncos. I had the Chiefs as my lock.
Yeah, but
and then the week before that, it was the Bills.
Yeah, but I did have the Broncos with the points. So I do have that. But I have 1, 2, 3, I have 5 games, I have the team winning by double digits.
Ooh.
I believe I was right with my lock of the Chargers last week.
Yeah, over the Bears. I mean,
And I was right with my upset special last week. Bengals over Niners.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I think once I saw Brock Purdy in the concussion protocol, I picked Cincinnati for the Hooked on Sports podcast. So I mean, if I had known that was an injury, I would have picked Cincinnati on the on this pod. But either way, tremendous victory by the Bengals and in their stomping of the 49ers. A team, mind you, without Deebo Samuel and without Trent Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's get back to the big question at hand. Which NFL quarterback holds the record for the most thrown pick sixes in a career?
Yeah. Hey, actually, I have an idea.
Yeah, I wanted to see what your idea was because yeah.
Because I mean, I'm kind of just gonna wing it because I know that he's had a ton of interceptions throughout his entire career. He's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm just gonna win it because he's had so many with several different teams. I'm just gonna win it and say Brett Favre.
I was thinking the same thing, but another name that came to mind was Eli Manning, because he had a lot of interceptions. So I think because I think more per capita, I would say Eli Manning, but I think because Brett Favre had more career starts, I'm gonna we're both gonna go with Brett Favre here.
Oh my gosh, those guys got it right.
Oh wow!
Oh, so that was pretty easy then.
32
pick sixes.
32 pick sixes for the Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Oh, I guess it wasn't so tough to all. I'm going to have to work on something a little bit harder for next week. But
yeah,
I digress.
It's career pick six leaders. So Brett Favre with 32, Matt Stafford with 30, Danny Marino 29, Namath 28, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning with 27, Phil Rivers 25, Carson Palmer 23, Vinny Testaverde 23, and Eli Manning with 22. So because I was thinking when he had that 3 pick sixes in that game, during that Super Bowl season against Minnesota.
All right.
Wow, Vinny Testaverde, that's a name from the past. Wow.
Yeah. He took the Jets to the NFC Championship game in '98.
Yeah. That's when it was the Vinny and the Jets.
Yeah. A final score with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. The Rangers win 11-7.
Wow.
Oh,
Diamondbacks were chipping away.
They were kind of chipping away at it, but I guess it was too little, too late. I guess it was garbage time runs. I guess.
Piling up garbage time fans numbers. So the Diamondbacks scored 4 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th.
One more.
Mm-hmm.
One more, baby. One more.
Yeah, I think that they're going to do it at home, though. I think they're going to lose Game 5, but then win Game 6.
Like I said before we started tonight's show, for selfish reasons, I would love to have the Rangers win the series at home.
Yeah, you're the one who predicted 5 games.
Yeah, I did say Rangers in 5. So, Will Winston pass Favre interceptions? Will Jameis pass Brett Favre?
I don't know about that. If he continues being a backup quarterback, probably not.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at the pick sixes. Jameis Winston has had 12 pick sixes in his shorter career, and he has 97 overall interceptions.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards probably no right now because since Winston's been he's been a backup, I think, as of late.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is
and speaking of the Rangers, now they're up 3-1. 10-0 on the road, a win would make it 11-0. And for a specific team that we talked about, but I think it was actually before we went on, but the Giants. So when they beat the unbeaten Patriots in the Super Bowl, they finished an 11-game winning streak on the road, and that 11th victory was in Arizona.
I wonder where Josh Allen is on this list.
It's on this pick
Or
six
for
list.
On the pick six list, probably not on the pick six, but of course interceptions, because of course Josh Allen threw a lot of them last year.
Yeah, I think he led the league.
Yeah, he was tied. It was
actually
tied
Dak
with
that led the league in interceptions.
Yeah, Dak. And Dak already has 5 interceptions. He said he wasn't going to throw more than 10, or he didn't say he was going to throw 10, but he's already got 5. So I don't know about that. But anyway, I guess we can bring this session of Fantasy Football Fever to a close. But
sorry, Tim. I just realized something. We should probably we never said which teams were on the bye this week. We should probably bring that up.
Oh yes.
I got my list. It's the Jaguars, the Niners, the Broncos, and the Lions.
Yeah, and in our chat we talked about all the big time players that are on bye this week, and there are a lot of them. No, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, of course, Brock Purdy, Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton. So all those players are who are notable players in fantasy football. They are all off this week.
So hopefully all of you players will only be able to bench those guys and not actually have to drop them, because like we said, they are big time players. They put up some big numbers. So once again, it's Broncos, Lions, 49ers, Jaguars. We'll talk about them next week when they get back to action. But of course, if you want a lot more insight into that, all you got to do is click on one of the links in the description area, and you will be directly sent to Hooked on Sports with John Flynn. He will have that story and much more. I mean, this is an awesome season, awesome time of year. Got football halfway done. Baseball's in the World Series, of course. We got basketball just started. Hockey just started. I mean, this has been great. It's been a great show. Be sure to check out Flynn with Hooked on Sports.
I think I'm gonna be recording episodes tomorrow and Thursday. So not the usual Tuesday, Thursday, but it's probably gonna be tomorrow and Thursday.
Okay, so y'all be sure to check that out. And of course, be sure to check out the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems on A Pizzle 90 channel. I'll be with Alex and Lucas and doing our own Pick'em show. That's what we do. And we will be back next week with another great edition of Fantasy Football Fever. So until next time, for John Flynn, for John Natale, my name's Tim McClellan. We are going into November. Sorry, tomorrow. The weather is getting colder.
Yeah, and also next week we will be and I'll be here at home doing this, because I didn't think I was going to be off next Tuesday, but I am. But next Tuesday is election day. So make sure you all go out and vote, because it's not a presidential year, it's not a midterm year, but there's still some important local races in your specific areas. So go out and vote in the elections next week.
Oh, before we do the sign off, that just reminded me of something that happened about a few years ago. It was in Grand Rapids. I think it was Grand Rapids, Michigan. I could be wrong. It was
Yeah.
somewhere. But they were putting up billboard signs for election day.
Yeah.
But whoever made the signs must have been a total dyslexic. Probably wasn't the world's greatest speller. But it did grab a lot of attention because the billboard sign said, on election day, vote yes on Preparation H.
Oh man.
Proposition H.
For John Flynn and for John Natale, my name's Tim McClellan. Have a great week. Enjoy the games, y'all. Stay safe, stay warm. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See you.